The following is a paid program sponsored by Brandstar Entertainment, LLC.
Today on BELatina,
we're chatting with mental health and behavioral therapist Haesue Jo about a new wave of therapy that's more convenient and affordable for everyone.
Then grab your furry friends, ladies and gentlemen, and get cozy because we're sharing tips and tricks to keep your pet healthy and happy.
And stick around because later on, James and I get our DIY on with new innovative devices that will make your home both smarter and safer.
We are your hosts,
Karent Sierra
and James Tahhan, and you're watching BELatina.
Welcome back. I'm Karent Sierra, and today we're joined by mental health therapist Haesue Jo. Haesue, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
With the mental health crisis on the rise, not only in this country, but especially in the Latino community, you're definitely in the front lines. How did you get inspired to want to become a therapist?
Big question, and it's like a ton of things from my personal life that contributed to this.
Okay.
So when I was coming up, at that time, I didn't know what therapy was. It's not something that a lot of communities talk about, especially communities that consist of a lot of immigrants. You know, immigrant parents, I think, have this idea that grit is a lot more important than sitting around and talking about your problems with somebody, especially if that person's a stranger.
Sure.
You know, there's definitely this idea that if you have mental and emotional hardship, it's something that you deal with privately or at least just in your family. And I think I saw over time how detrimental that actually is to a lot of families, a lot of really close relationships, when folks don't have the opportunity and the space to talk about what's happening internally. And so, you know, it's just like a series of events in my life, including learning about what therapy was, that inspired me to want to do something like this and bringing in this conversation about mental health, how to take care of yourself in a way that's very meaningful outside of, you know, exercise and eating healthy.
Well, I also think it's a generational issue, and I think millennials are, a little more used to communicating. What do you specialize in your practice?
So trauma is something I definitely specialize in, and I think it's really important for all mental health providers to be knowledgeable about trauma-informed care. Because at the end of the day, I think everybody has been traumatized by something, right? Like, all of our parents have meant well, but most parents end up messing their kids up a little bit, and these kids turn into adults just like us that have all these things that happen to us as children, and it affects the way that we relate with other people, the way that we attach with our own partners, the way that we then treat our own children. So having said that, family relationships is also something I focus on heavily, and that comes from personal experience. I had a lot of issues and a lot of drama in my own family, which I think a lot of people can relate to.
Sure.
And so I think I was seeking for answers, a solution to my own problems by going into this career track. So when people thank me for being a therapist, it feels weird because honestly, it's really fulfilling to me being able to accompany somebody else on their journey.
Well, it's like that saying that they say you get so much more when you give than when you receive. So I'm sure it's very fulfilling for you as well as you're helping all these wonderful patients. Haesue, the pandemic happened, and we saw a shift in the way people were getting used to working. Now we saw a lot of people working out of their homes, and I can only imagine you saw an increase in online therapy, and I think it must be very convenient for a lot of patients because now you don't have just access to your local therapist where you live, but you probably have a slew of therapists throughout the country.
There's always been a lot of barriers to getting mental health care, being cost, accessibility, distance, transportation. Not everybody has access to that.
Correct.
So for a long time, therapy was thought to be only available to folks who had time and money.
That's right.
So for a lot of people, this idea that it's a luxury has started to form, right? And I don't think that's the case. It's not a luxury to have mental health issues. You know, I work for a company now that is providing therapy online. And part of the reason that I made that shift several years ago now was because I noticed all these barriers in the traditional setting.
Sure.
And it didn't make sense to me that so much of the population, especially marginalized people who need it so much, did not have access, did not feel like they were allowed to get this kind of service. And so I came to this company called Betterhelp because I saw something here that was impactful, meaningful, creating accessibility for so many folks that did not have this chance or opportunity to feel like they're allowed to do this.
So I am a huge advocate of seeking help, especially for mental health. There's an amazing benefit to online therapy. You're definitely saving time, saving money on gas, which is definitely helpful these days. But what are some other benefits that the website offers?
Well, I gotta keep adding to the convenient factor because there's an app, so you can be using it on your smartphone, which...
And who isn't on their phones nowadays?
All the time, right? So, you know, busy parents, for example, could be having sessions with their kid just in the other room.
How wonderful, sure.
You know, so you're not having to think about childcare during that session that you have to drive through and park and all that stuff. And of course, cost is a barrier to getting therapy for so many people, but the cost is relatively low for something like Betterhelp. In fact, the cost is almost 50% lower than the average hourly rate that you're gonna see a lot of private practice therapists charging out there. And on top of the regular sessions that you have on a weekly basis with your therapist, you can also interact more through messaging, which is not something that really exists traditionally. So we've opened up new forms of communication, and you can also book live sessions. So if you want to schedule a time to have your therapist's undivided attention for generally 30 to 45 minutes or so, you can schedule a time to meet on video if that's something that you prefer, but you can also have phone sessions, so you don't have to look at each other if you don't want to do that.
Oh, that's wonderful. You have different options. They don't necessarily have to be live video sessions.
Yes, and you can even do live chat, so it's instant messaging. You'll have time with your therapist to just chat back and forth. And you know, there's so many therapists on the platform. There's almost 30,000 of them actually, and I'm really proud to say that.
30,000 therapists. Are they spread out throughout the country?
Yes, it's the largest network of therapists in the world right now.
That's amazing. 30,000 therapists.
And on the other side of it, you know, therapists have their own account settings, so they're marking things like, I would be good for a client that's looking for a person of color, a younger therapist, older therapist, a liberal versus conservative person.
Religious issues.
Right,
also,
you can request a non-religious therapist, and you can also request somebody that works from a faith-based approach. You have options.
And I love the fact that it's customized exactly for what you need. And I think it's amazing because you're opening up the world to so many more options for all these patients that felt that maybe in their community they didn't fit in with a particular type of therapist. Now you have access to 30,000 therapists, which I think is absolutely amazing. And it's impossible not to find the perfect therapist for you.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, I am so fascinated by all of this because I feel that's important to create awareness to everyone. Young, old alike, female, male, Latinos, American, it doesn't matter where you're from, but seek help. It's important. Don't feel that we're these tough people and we have to figure it out ourselves. That's why wonderful therapists like you exist. That's why this website is so amazing, and I'm gonna make sure to spread it to all my friends, colleagues, and loved ones so that they know that this exists, that they don't have to travel so far to look for the perfect therapist. You can find it on this website. And tell me exactly, where do I go to find out more about this information?
Well, your viewers specifically can go to betterhelp.com/BELatina.
Wonderful.
To receive a 50% discount on their first month.
What?
And
50% off. Did you guys hear that? To all our BELatina family, 50% off, and I think that's amazing. Thank you for offering that.
Yeah, of course, and even beyond that, let's say you want to continue after your first month that you've tried this out and the cost is still an issue for you. We don't want cost to be the only reason why you can't seek help. So just reach out to us and we offer financial assistance based on your situation. We want to make sure anybody can get therapy.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So stay tuned. Coming up next, we're headed into the kitchen with Chef James. I can taste the flavor already.
Welcome back to BELatina, mi gente. This is gonna be one of the funniest segments you'll ever see, and this is the reason why. You know how there's always this never-ending battles between whether clam chowder is from New England or whether it's from somewhere else, or like deep dish pizza against New York style pizza? Well, we have something in Latin America, and is, you know, that battle whether arepas come from Colombia or Venezuela. So, Karent, can you come here real quick? Because you're Colombian, I'm Venezuelan, and we're gonna put this to the test. What's happening? Yeah, that's a Venezuelan flag.
And
That too, and those two.
did you forget something?
No. I thought of you. I brought you a surprise. Look, they're here. I brought you some Colombian flags that you can put in your food here and here and here. And there's plenty. So like you can put them everywhere, you know? And like help me with the
Considering,
decoration.
thank God, we have like a nest here. It actually stays. He has so much hairspray. They actually stay.
It ended up playing against me. All right, so this is the battle of arepas. We're gonna bring an amazing guest. She has gazillion followers on social media. I'm not gonna say where she's from because that will give you an advantage, but she's Colombian. Yes. We're gonna bring her in and she's gonna truly decide where arepas should and will now on come from.
Yes, we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Maria Laura's in the house.
Yes!
We have blindfolded Maria Laura because she has absolutely no idea of what's happening over here. Okay, so you are in part of our set. You can put your hands here.
Okay.
We're gonna give you two things to try. You're gonna hold them with your two hands. You're gonna eat it, and then you're gonna say which one you like the best. Okay?
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. Are you ready for this?
Wait a minute. What kind of food?
I can't tell you. You need to grab it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, right? Isn't that good?
Sweet.
Okay. What else do you recognize?
Cheese.
Okay, that's good.
Arepa.
Maybe.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding.
yeah. You're in the right track, though.
What kind of arepa?
We can tell you that.
The best one.
The best one, Colombian.
I mean, it all depends. You still need to work on your second.
It says she's not only beautiful, but she's smart.
She is very smart.
Okay.
Indeed. Okay, are you ready for your second dish?
Okay.
Okay, you can put it down.
Very
You need to try this one.
So the other one reminds me like my country.
We need a decision because we need to put an end to this endless battle of the arepas.
The Colombian arepa. Yes.
You're gonna try the sweet corn arepa.
Maria Laura, I knew there was beauty, intelligence, all mixed up in one. This was perfect.
Well,
¿Verdad? Delicioso.
so, I mean, from a heartbroken position, I have to say.
Colombia is the winner. Come on, you can say it. Colombia.
I can't say it. You have to say
Colombia
it.
is the winner.
No.
Maria Laura, thank you for being here. I want to ask you, how did you get to have so many followers?
I know. I know. I mean, it's obvious, you know? So you're an actress, you're a TV host, you're on social media, you're beautiful.
You do it all. You're an influencer.
Yes, I've been working for a long time, since I was 14 years old as a TV host. Then I started my career as an actress. I have a non-profit organization. It's a school of arts for vulnerable kids.
That's amazing. That deserves an applause from everybody here in the studio.
Yes.
Congratulations, that's amazing. You're not only focusing on yourself, but you're focusing a lot of your efforts into helping others, and you know, that's amazing, especially coming from a Latina in the United States. Congratulations for all your
make us
success.
proud. You make us
Thank
proud.
you.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure, even though, I mean, things didn't go my way, like Frank
Was
Sinatra
really
would say.
good. It tastes really good.
Stay tuned because when we come back, we're sharing tips on how to keep your furry friends healthy all year long.
Welcome back to BELatina. We are your host, James Tahhan.
And Karen Sierra.
And we're super excited because we have a guest today that's going to tell us everything about keeping our pets safe. So thank you for being with us, Dr. Fuentes. Great having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here and have such wonderful co-hosts and all of your pets.
Now, the real celebrities are definitely Mango, Lucy Lou, and Coco.
Yes.
So, Dr. Fuentes, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been a veterinarian?
I am from New York. I'm from Queens. Similar to
so
you.
am I.
Exactly. And I went to school to become a licensed technician first, and so like a veterinary nurse. Then I went back to school and became a veterinarian. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I went back to school again and got my certification in veterinary acupuncture. And so at this point, I've been a veterinarian for more than 10 years, but I've been in the field forever. And my heart really just lies with our dogs and cats and keeping them nice and healthy.
Well, you can tell because they have a wonderful demeanor the moment you got here, because you should have seen them before we started. Coco and Mango are local. You figured there would be cases dogs. Okay.
Starting, from keeping our pets safe, how important it is, especially for people like me. We have children at home. You just had a baby too.
I did.
Right?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I did. It really is important because obviously we want to keep our dogs and our cats healthy and safe, but we also want to keep our human family safe, our babies. And by protecting our pets against parasites, we're also protecting our families. We just want to make sure that they're healthy and that we can do things to prevent things as opposed to having to treat them.
Sure.
And so things like heartworm disease. Heartworm disease is transmitted by infected mosquitoes, and so it's very common. They found it across the United States at this point. And heartworm can be fatal in our dogs, and so we definitely want to prevent that from happening. We want to prevent parasites on the outside of the body, like fleas and ticks. Fleas, obviously, because they are a nuisance. It bothers them, it bothers us. And then things like ticks carry all sorts of diseases like Lyme disease. And we don't want our animals to have them. We don't want ourselves to have those things. And then on top of that, they can get intestinal parasites or worms. People tend to know them as worms, and causes GI upset, diarrhea, soft stool, all sorts of stuff you just don't really want to deal with. And so preventing that is the best way to do it.
Deal with diarrhea.
Oh, and then also, they don't feel good when that happens, I used to see that a lot with Mango. Now, when it comes to us noticing something different in our pets, what should we look for to understand that there's something going on?
Our pets can be really difficult to read sometimes, but things that we can look for, behavior changes, such as change in eating habits. If they're the kind of dog that wolfs down their meal and all of a sudden they're just taking little bites here and there, that's something that you gotta note and potentially tell your vet. Things like excessive tiredness, obviously things like scratching with our fleas, or even if you just notice, because pet parents, when there's something a little off, that's the time to call. And that's why prevention is so important, because it can be difficult to see these things, and it can be difficult because they don't want to always tell us.
What are those best preventative measures that we can take to obviously keep these babies of ours healthy?
Absolutely, yeah. Preventative medicine, I would say once a month, preventative, chewable. I reach for Simparica Trio. For me, the reason that I like it, my goal is to practice quality medicine, right? Sure. But I also want to make it easy and accessible to my clients and our pet parents. And so with Trio, Simparica Trio, we get heartworm prevention. It had 100% efficacy in its field trials. We know we're getting fleas. We know we're getting ticks. There's an updated label preventing Lyme disease because it's so good at killing those ticks. And we know that we're taking care of intestinal parasites.
So
One
it's
chewable.
Definitely 3-in-1, and it's obviously more cost effective because you don't have to be taking 2 different medications, correct?
Exactly.
Well, that sounds wonderful, and I'm excited to start Lucy Lou on it. She's gonna be a year old now, So it's never too late or too early to start, correct?
Exactly. Of course, before you get her started on it, since it is a prescription medication, I always recommend speaking to your veterinarian first. You want to make sure that it's the right one for her, but I think it'll be no problem and it'll be wonderful, and you can feel confident that she'll be protected every month.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. I like simplicity, and if I'm going to save money, I'm definitely going to switch over, right, Lucy Lou? Yes. Yes. She's saying yes.
Dr. Fuentes, thank you so much for, guiding us on how to take better care of our pets, and it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad I could talk a bit about prevention and Simparica Trio, because they really are my heart.
If you want to learn more about this product and how you can prepare your pet for this flea and tick season, visit SimparicatRio.com.
And now stay tuned, mi gente.
That's right. Coming up after this break, James and I are teaming up to make my home a little smarter, safer, and with new innovations from Kiddick. Oh my gosh, finally? I mean, seriously?
You have to consider there was traffic. I have a 2-year-old. I have 2 dogs, work, and all those kinds of things.
You know what? I'm not gonna complain because you brought all the kitty goodies.
Yes,
So,
I did. And remember that Latinos say that when we're late, we're on time.
oh, is that what they're saying now?
That's a thing now.
Okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
How's Jamie doing?
Everything's great.
Awesome. James, thank you so much for helping me with this. You know, my mom recently moved over, and it's so important for me to get the house comfortable for her, but more importantly is to get it safe.
The reason why I put this in my house was because when Jamie was born, I needed a safer place
Of
for my
course.
peace of mind.
Sure.
So 3 key features for these products. First of all, of course, you can track if there's any water leaks in your house. You can track fires, and then you can also track the quality of the air inside the house, which, I mean, think about how important that is.
Absolutely.
Super easy to install. You can connect it through Wi-Fi. They have an app that keeps you up to date with what's happening. So you could be anywhere in the world and you're gonna get notifications if anything ever happens in your house.
Okay, I love the fact that they're Wi-Fi enabled, and me that I'm always into all the gadgets and all the apps. This is great because I do so much traveling, and that way I can check it on my phone and make sure that my mom is safe and there's no worries.
Exactly.
This
and the
is
house
wonderful.
too, you know?
Absolutely.
How about we open them and we get busy?
Show me how this works.
Let's do it. So first of all, we're gonna install the Kidda smoke and carbon monoxide alarm with indoor air quality monitor.
You sound so smart. I mean, it says it right here.
Of course it says it right
I
there.
knew you could be that smart.
But I'll tell you something, I did my research and I wanted to bring you the good stuff because this is the only product that does the 3 things in one. The best thing about it is if your house ever goes out of power, it has a 10-year battery.
Oh wow,
so
that's
this will
actually
continue
really
to work.
good. I don't hear those beeps.
Exactly.
Hey.
All right, so first thing we're gonna do is install the product in your phone.
Okay.
And the app. Scan this with your camera. There you go.
There.
Perfect. Install. Right there.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, now step 2, open the app. We're gonna create your account.
So sign in? No, I want to create.
Correct.
Create.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So now add device, select smoke, and carbon
device.
monoxide alarm with indoor air quality monitor.
Select.
That's it?
Perfect.
Perfect. So step 3, we're gonna follow the in-app steps to set up and connect the alarm to the app. Scan your unique QR code below or on the back of your alarm when prompted. So let's go and scan your
so
QR code. There you go. Perfect.
QR scan successful. Okay, James, so there's instructions here. It says get plugged in. First, turn off the power to your home to ensure safe installation. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that would be nice.
Then connect the alarm's AC quick connector to your home wiring. That's the quick connector, perfect. And then refer to the user guide for more details on wiring installation.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, don't make fun. I don't do a lot of DIYs in my house.
I can clearly see that because with that, it's gonna be a little more complex than I thought. Let's go.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Okay, James, so it says, using a screwdriver, advance the red wheel to the next position. A musical tone will confirm when this is done. Alrighty, continue. Please turn on Bluetooth in your device settings. I did that. Prepare the alarm for Wi-Fi, so I have to scan the device's QR code. And QR scan successful. Now get plugged in. Turn off power to your home to ensure safe installation. We turned off this section.
It's green.
Ready to connect. There we go, Sierra House. Connecting to device.
Let me get it closer.
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
There it is. Ready to go?
Okay, so it says here, communicate with your alarm. Ping your alarm to confirm that your device is set up. Ping alarm. Yes! You are the bomb! Awesome!
So that is working. Now we head to the kitchen.
Perfect. All right, let's do it.
Now that we've placed the smoke alarm,
Okay,
we need to place the water leak and freeze detector.
perfect.
So these are super simple to place because usually you would look for spaces where you might have a water leak, you know?
So like under the kitchen sink?
Under the kitchen sink, under the fridge, and the best thing is they come with batteries. I already placed them inside.
Okay.
So where do you have a concern that there might be a water leak?
Well, definitely the kitchen sink.
Okay, we'll put one there.
I would say we have 3, one under the refrigerator and one in the powder bath next to
Another
the
great
toilet.
feature, by the way, is that if there is any leaks, you'll get the same exact
Oh, so
alarms
that's great.
on your phone.
I can be anywhere in the world, and if there's a leak,
You'll
I'll be
know what's
notified.
happening, yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. And I think that gives me a lot of peace of mind, especially leaving my mom alone when I'm traveling.
How about we go and place them?
Let's do it. Alrighty.
Well, your house is finally safe. You're ready to go.
James,
no
you
leaks,
are my
no nothing.
life savior. Thank you so much for all your help.
It was fun.
Yes, it was. So I promise that maybe to pay you back, I can make some dinner for you.
How about you take me out to dinner at a restaurant on your drive?
Okay.
I like that better.
Okay, I actually like it better too.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, James.
I'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Say bye. Say bye, James.
Bye.
For all of our DIYers looking to make your home a safer and healthier place for you and your loved ones, check out a variety of smart detection featuring home safe products at KIDDE.com.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
And for more information on today's show, make sure to visit BELatina.com.
Make sure you follow us on social media at BELatina TV and BELatina News.
Hasta la vista.
Ciao, ciao.
The preceding was a paid program sponsored by Brandstar Entertainment, LLC.